So today we are going to be covering functions and control flow. So for that, let's jump right into the terminal and create a new cargo project. So cargo new, then call them functions. So let's move into the functions folder and open it on Visual Studio Code. So now functions are very pervasive in Rust. So uh, they helps us break down our Rust code in different portions, so you are able to write cleaner code. So Rust uses neck case, a conventional style for functions and variable names. So to create a new function, we can we use the fn keyword and the function name maybe print another, and then brackets, then curly brackets, then we are printing another another fun another function. So we can call this function from our main. So when you're calling it, you just call the function name, print another, we are good. So if we run this, it's going to print hello world, then print another function. If cargo run, you can see we are getting hello world and another function. So that's how um, we create functions in Rust. So we also have functions with parameters. So another function can print x, another function, then print line, let's be printing the value of x, which we are going to get through the function parameters. So we are going to pass a parameter called x. So x, sorry, x, we want it to be a number of an unsigned 2-bit integer. So in here we have to pass that number. That's why you say the compiler is shouting. So if we pass like 20, we can now print the value of x is 20. So another function, then printing the value of x as 20. So we also have functions that return an expression that is like a function. So we can also have like let x, we declare it as 5, you see, but we can also have a function that declares a value like so. So let y is equals to a function. We need a semicolon there. So we do our operations in here. So maybe we can say let x is equals to maybe 3. We are overshadowing it as we saw in the previous, plus x. So for that, if it doesn't implement the display, we return x maybe plus 1 or 2. So our y is returning this value. So we are taking this x after we have added this, and we can print the value of y. So if we run, we are able to print the value of y as 10 after it has done its arithmetic operation. So you can create an expression. You a variable that is an expression, so it carries out a task like a function, and you can create a value from that function. So we also have functions with return values. So let's comment that out and create a new main. So we have functions that return values. So function, let's say add plus, so add 1, or say add. So this function will will multiply something, multiply, and then we pass in the value maybe of x as an unsigned 32, and then now this function will return the calculations after maybe we have multiplied the value by maybe 10 2 or something. So we take x and we multiply by maybe like 20, and then we return the value of x. So you can just do that without adding an semicolon and return. You want it to be still an unsigned 32-bit. So it will take the value of x, multiply it, then return this value. So we can call it up here, say uh, multiply, then multiply needs a value, maybe let's say like 3, and then it returns a value, so we can take it in an x. So the value of maybe y is equals to that, and then we can print it out. So the value of y is that, and y. If we run it, you can see we are saying we are getting the value of y is 60. So that's a function that return values. So something I would like to touch on is comments. So comments in Rust, we have single line comments and multi-line comments. So for the single line, they are like this up here, which you just use 2 slashes and comment something like a return function. We can also have another function, a return comment like so for multi-line, and do maybe this function as return type, return keyword, sorry, and let's create that function here. So fn maybe get remainder. So we take in a value of maybe x and we want it as unsigned, and we return still an unsigned. So this function will return the remainder of the value. So we can say let remainder is equals to x uh, divided by 2, and then we can now also use the return keyword and return remainder like so. So these both functions do the same thing. You can either have a remainder or not, which is this is the simplest way to do it. So we can also get remainder, and we can also even pass in like 9 there and put the remainder in a value. So let remainder is equals to this, and we can print it out. The remainder is, and pass in remainder like so. And if we run it, we get the remainder, which is 1. Good. So next, that's how we use comments. Let's jump into the control flow. So the if else expressions. So let's just comment this out, all of it. Okay. So let's create a new main. In the main, now we are going to use control flow. So this is the if expression. So an if expression allows you to branch your code depending on the conditions you have. So you you provide a condition and then and the state. So if the condition is met, then this code will run. Otherwise, the condition is not met, the code block won't run. So for that, let's try to declare value. So uh, let value is equals to 3. So we want to create an if else. If this number, if the value is less than 5, less than maybe 5, it prints less than 5. It's greater than, it prints greater than. So we take an if and then check if the value is less than 5. We do something, so we print like value is less than 5, like so. Else we print the value is larger than 5, like so. So if else statements they compile until one of the value is true. So it will run until one of the uh, condition are true. So if we run this, we should get the value is less than 5. So if we change this to maybe 13, we expect to see the value is greater than 5, like so. So that's how you use the if else statement. So you see the condition, the value was that. So the condition, it runs until the condition is true. You can also have one if statement. So if number is not equals to 0, and just print value is not equals to 0. We can just print the number is something other than 0, like so. You see? So something else, so it will check if the value is 0. If it's not equals to 0, it will just print something else is not something else rather than 0. Also, we can also have handling multiple condition with if else. So you can have a function that checks for certain condition. So let's say let's number is equals to maybe 6, like so. Then we can check for the modulo. So if number modulo, so this will check for the remainder 4 is equals to 0, so we can do something as the remainder, then we can have an else statement, else if number we can check if 3 is equals to 0, print is divisible by 3, like so. Else then you have else check if it's also divisible by 2, gives you 0, it's divisible by 2. Then else the number is not divisible by all, so this will handle all the others. So not divisible by either 4, 3, 4, 2, 3, or 4, like so. Let's try to run the code and see. So you can handle different uh, different conditions. You can also declare so let condition is equals to maybe false, and then we can check for a number. So let number is equals to if condition an O here. Condition is true, return 5, else return maybe 6, like so. Print number. Like so. And if we run it, you can see we are getting the value is 6. Since it's checking, it takes the else. Since it is if condition it's true, if the condition is false, we are getting 6, but if it's true, so we should get 5, like so. Yeah, so we also have repetition loops. We also have loops, so you can loop print again, like so. So this will print again endlessly, not unless you stop it with Ctrl C. So it creates, as you can see, it creates it loops again and again and again without stopping. So that is a repetition while using loops. So we also have returning from a loop, so we can have uh, a value. So we can have a value like, let's say, let count is equals to 0, right? Then we say let result is equals to, so we are going to loop and do that. Then we take counter, count plus equals 1, so we have to make it mutable for that, adding the mut. So now we are going to check if the count is equals to 10. So if count is equals to 10, then we are going to break and return count, and then we can multiply it maybe by 3, like so, and let's print results, which is res, like so. So this loop executes until it gets there, then it breaks when the value is equals to 10, like so. So conditional loops with while, so comment everything out here and create a new and say commit loops, like so. Use call it while loops. So main, create a while conditional loop using a while. So let's create a number, let num is equals to okay, and you can make it mutable. So while num is not equal to 0, continue looping. So we're going to take num, then we subtract 1, and we're just going to print here continue and pass in num. So this is going to subtract 1 to that, then we can print bool like so. Let's see. So it counting 1, 2, 3 downwards, then again when it gets to 0, boom. So that's how you use conditional using while loops. We also have for loops. So for loops, uh, so for loops mainly are used to iterate through maybe a collection like an array. So let array is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like so. So we use for loop. So for uh, I in array, so we use dot iter to iterate through, and then we can print the array. So print and just pass in I. We run that, we can see it will count down, it will loop through all the items. So it iterates through the index of every item in that array. So that is the use of for loops. Thank you. Let's meet in the next chapter.